Good evening, Monadnock Region, and welcome back to the Space Lounge. This is, of course, Go Tonight, and I am your host, Chris DiLoretto, here with...
Zoe Roten-Heinsman.
And no Sam this week. Actually, we are recording this on Tuesday, January 18th, which is several days later than we should be for this week's show. Although we have a lot of faith in our sound lord and producer, Chad, that he may be able to turn this around in a couple of days, most likely. But because of the schedule change, of course, poor Sam wasn't able to get in here. So
Isn't he somewhere warm? Isn't he like...
He went to Texas. I think he's back now.
Okay.
Yep, I actually ran into him at PES today for pickup. He was behind me in his car picking up Lena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he is back, but I don't know that he can do Tuesday nights. So we will see Sam again when we do recording for next week in just 2 days, which is really kind of lovely. So this week in the Monadnock region, our top story is absolutely nothing. There is nothing going on at all in the Monadnock region. Nothing. Like zero thing. I mean, we went digging. We went looking for stuff. Absolutely fucking nothing. We certainly anticipated that, following the very exciting Halloween to New Year's season in the region, that there would definitely be kind of a downtick in activity in general. But I don't know if I would have predicted a week or two like this, where it's just like, I mean, is this the lull before a storm, or is this just the way it is right now?
Like hashtag new normal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
like, I mean, there's like the weather happened. I don't really want to talk about it. We all lived it. There's no reason to go there.
I shoveled a lot.
But like weather plus Omicron, I don't know if
Omicron.
people are out and about to be doing things.
I hope, and fortunately, I won't find out that this isn't true, but I suspect it isn't true. But my hope is that nobody listening to this program, when I said there's nothing going on, was like, oh, but what about the uptick in Omicron? I hope to God nobody thought that. Like, please, if you did think that, seek assistance, but not at the hospital, because they will not take you.
I only thought it because I was thinking, I had like
events. Yeah, no, you were digging. No, we dug. We had to dig down. That's just, yeah, I know. That wasn't obviously your natural thought or inclination. We could do a special Omicron episode.
Before our 2-year retrospective on
yes, exactly. It was coming up in March. 2-year retrospective, replaying all the greatest hits of the last several seasons of the COVID show. I can't wait. For that. That's going to be awesome. It'll be boy. Like a clip show on your favorite 90s sitcom, except a lot less funny. And
I might have to I don't know, be busy that night.
I mean, I am a real passionate hater of the laugh track, but if the COVID sitcom had a laugh track, it actually might have improved things. It's been that poorly written.
It's like a surreal absurdist laugh track. I'm kind of into that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we would need there to be some hysterical sounding laughs in there. You know what I mean?
A little scream in the back.
Yeah. There's there's the baseline layer of your regular laughs, like you would hear in Full House or whatever, but then over the top coming out of that, there's just a couple people that you're like, oh my God, is someone gonna help that guy? What is up, man? Yeah, it'll be great. It would have been great if we had had that in our lives.
Just
Um,
constantly in the background.
yeah.
Some of us may have,
R.I.P. Bob Saget. I didn't even mean to make a Bob Saget. I wasn't even referencing Full House on purpose there, actually. But I don't want to get into that really either because I don't know what we could really add to that conversation. But I
Okay,
will
I
say
do
though,
have something to add. No, wait,
well,
go. You say.
like I'm not that I'm surprised because I don't know. I always thought Bob Saget was fine. But like, man, like everybody really liked that guy. Like, and I don't mean like people like us, because like somebody dies and like, everybody pretends that they were a David Bowie fan their entire life and all this stuff. I don't take that seriously, but it's
Yeah.
like all the other famous people like posting these tributes that are like very personal and not just like, oh yeah, condolences to the family, like Bob was a real professional and like a great dude. Like, no, these people are like, man, I would have trusted him with my life, like he like,
Wow.
oh yeah, it's like serious stuff that people are like, yeah, like I considered him my best friend, like one of my best friends. He was always there for you. You never even ran into the guy in the street without walking away feeling better about your life and yourself. Like really, really like uh extremely strong sentiments
Wow.
here, which is quite a tribute. It's quite a testament.
Yeah, for sure. So, have you ever seen Bob Saget in any other context besides like Full House or America's Funniest Home Videos? Like, did you ever watch his stand up?
No, and I've always heard about that, but the answer is yes because I've seen him because he had cameoed in several episodes of Entourage back when that was a thing.
Okay.
And but no, other than that, I've never seen his stand up.
Oh my gosh. So I just, I never really like cared about him. I liked Full House as much as you can like it when it's like on and you're like 7
Yeah, I
or
was gonna say
whatever.
we all liked it because you have to,
Right.
like it's
That's
yeah,
like the show that you
it's what you
watched.
do, Yeah, we
But
all
like I
like Fresh
never
Prince too, I mean,
was that?
Fresh Prince, like that was like another one that was just like on.
Oh yeah. That one, I don't know. I never really watched that, but
Oh,
I
weird.
know what you mean. But like I saw The Aristocrats. That's like it's a famous movie
Oh
about
yeah,
like a dirty joke and like
yeah, yeah,
all these different comedians telling it, and Bob Saget's version is like the nasty, like it's a nasty joke. It's a dirty
yeah,
joke no matter how
yeah.
tamely you tell it. Like that's
Right,
the punchline.
right. That's the
His
point of
is
it.
like
Yeah, yeah,
the filthiest version, and like that was the first time I had ever encountered his stand-up persona,
yeah. I've
which
always
is
heard that he's very filthy in stand up.
very filthy and hilarious. So
Yeah,
like recommend if you're I saw some people like, "Oh, Bob Saget America's Dad." And I'm like, "That's not how I think of Bob Saget
yeah,
at this
yeah.
point."
But it's funny though because I guess he really was like America's Dad. Like that's the funny thing is that he had like because I've always heard about this like really really raunchy stand up and but I guess as a dude he was really wholesome.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
But
I
I
mean like
recommend the
wholesome in
raunchy
a,
stand up. Like
yeah like
complicate your vision of Bob Saget is my
absolutely
recommendation.
yes because and that's a great way to be human, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
I mean yeah I mean we shouldn't all just be one thing. You know, um, and I should say too, like when I say wholesome, I mean like wholesome in a like he liked cigars and whiskey kind of way, like not actually like conservative values wholesome. Just to be clear,
Oh, and I took it in like a decent
he's a
guy.
decent, yeah, decency, yeah, decency. I
Yeah.
just want to be clear that it's a even the wholesomeness is not a like a white bread suburban Protestant wholesomeness, which
Mm.
is good, which is a positive thing. I mean that in a good way. Um, so, but aside from deaths and disease, the deaths are actually of which are happening out of the region and really don't have any connection here. Um, there's been a lot of discussion of unusual animal based winter gear. Maybe you could tell us a little something about that because I am not. No, I'm not hip. I'm not hip to the animal garb, and that's not because I'm a vegan. It's just because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the ex-vegan who is now like discovering all the animal products I missed out on. And, I mean, it's my discussion because I'm cold. I'm a cold person and I'm outside a lot. And so that's like I'm trying to like find these solutions for like living in this chill land. Um oh yeah, I wrote about my camel hair tights, which I bought my first pair of them like 3 4 years ago, and they're like wool, but they're camel wool. And like
Mm.
camel wool is apparently one of the warmest of the animal hairs, like something about the way that it's made. I don't know if I'm making that up. I feel like I read that at some point. I didn't
I believe
like
you. I'll take you. I'll take your word for it.
but these tights are definitely the warmest tights, and so like people will kind of tease me a little bit because I'm always wearing a dress in the winter, and they're all like, oh, you're so fancy, you're so dressed up, and like that's like a piece of it for sure. Like I like to look nice for sure,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
also very very secretly warm because I almost 100% of the time I'm wearing my camel hair tights. I now have like a collection. They're just like they're so thick and warm. They're like warmer than any pants. And even
So,
if I'm wearing jeans in the winter, I'm probably wearing them underneath.
so can I just say though that like I know. So you've said that I have obviously I've seen these camel hair tights on you before,
Yeah,
and
because I wear
I
them all the time.
yes, and I'm unaware of it, and obviously, so therefore I know that this isn't really what they're like. But when I hear the phrase camel hair tights, I picture like um like camel colored leggings with like long shaggy hairs like covered in like a fur covered like fur
Yes.
lined with like long like stringy camely like deserty kind of hairs like they say and I've seen illustrations of this like John the Baptist like supposedly wore like camel's hair clothes and like drank like ate honey and milk like a wild person and that's and in the pictures he's always wearing something very stringy and
Just
like
shaggy.
yeah like shaggy
Like he
and
didn't like bother to weave his
yeah no weaving yeah no there was never any weaving in these
he just like
illustrations
cut it off and glued it on.
and poor John maybe he weaved and we're being unfair to him but that's what I imagine. I know that's not the case. It would be a really funny thing to wear under a dress. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had
I'm
like
imagining like
just these
chapped,
yellow
like
colored camel legs coming, like like the fur is all like splayed out over your boots at the bottom and stuff.
I mean that probably would be pretty warm. I,
It
I
probably would be
I bought some fur too. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. I bought a beaver pelt on eBay
on eBay.
for
See
warmth purposes.
and when I hear beaver pelt, I think like, did you purchase this from the French fur traders along the Connecticut River by
I,
Fort Number 4?
I think that the dude is in like Minnesota or something, but like
Yeah, I don't
basically
think
his
there's French fur traders over there anymore, but
I I
maybe
think that
there
this
are.
guy like he's an eBay fur trader. Like that's his
Yeah.
shop is like pelts of various
So,
kinds. It's just like
so are they his? They're his
updated.
pelt. Like he goes and gets the beaver,
Here like
makes the
okay.
pelt,
So here's the story. Here's the story of the beaver pelt. I have like this is a terrible confession. So I follow this blog of this mom who like does all kinds of outdoor stuff with her kids in Alaska
and she
all the
hates
time.
beavers.
And it's really cold there. And so she was like talking up these like beaver hand warmers that you can buy, and they're just like a circle of fur. And it's like $60 for a pair of them. And I'm like, I'm sure
Yeah.
that those are like super nice and warm and everything, but like it just seems like a bit much. I could like go to the thrift store and like buy a coat and cut it up. So then today I was hiking with some friends on Pitcher Mountain and it was very windy and very cold and we may have had a little potential brush with some toddler finger and toe frostbite, mild, all is well. But I was like, what about these beaver things? I'm gonna go see if I can just like buy one and cut it up. So this is like my do it yourself thing. I mean, and the reason that the other ones are $60 is because they're like ethically and sustainably produced by native peoples and all that, and I'm sure that
They sing the
that's a
beavers their favorite songs beforehand. They
so I was kind of joking that like I don't know, like I don't know the circumstances under which this beaver perished, and I hope that they were good because I didn't want to pay that many dollars for the guaranteed ethical beaver fur or whatever.
they
Sorry.
they they
Sorry.
feed them a very humane poison,
Possibly.
causes no suffering. But okay, but how much does a whole beaver pelt cost? If you don't mind my asking.
$45.
That's it. Okay, so you can get a whole ass
Oh,
beaver,
yes,
a
and the
whole ass
guy
fucking beaver.
the guy in the picture is holding it up and it's like you can't even see him. It's like a giant, I mean, we'll see. Maybe he's holding it out, that's a thing, but it's yes, it's more than just
Wow.
two little mitten circles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
make
Well,
lots of
and
mitten
and and
circles.
and honestly, probably the mitten circles beyond the sustainability and the lack of stolen lands, whatever else. They are probably charging that because most people are not going to go and look up the cost of the pelt and buy it, right? I
Yes.
mean,
I'm not afraid of like cutting into a little beaver fur.
yeah, because let's be honest. I mean, like, no shade on the sustainability claims. Maybe they're real, or maybe they bought a $45 pelt from Jimbo in Minnesota, and snip, 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 and sold 10 pieces of it for $65 a piece. Which this is America, man. That's
Sure.
that's shoot like go for it. Like that's great, but props to you for doing an end run around it.
I mean, I have like a major cheapskate, streak to
Street.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm past the point where I want to like make everything myself, but I
Yeah.
feel like
Good.
scissors on a beaver pelt, you know,
You could do
doesn't
that.
seem like too much trouble.
I think you could handle that. Yeah, and I also feel that with a beaver pelt kind of thing, I don't know how much benefit you get out of it looking professional, right?
No one's gonna see it. It's like you hide the ugly worm stuff under your like, you know, you stick them in your mittens. You like they have ones that you like put under your hat. They have ones that you can like put on your belly or whatever.
All right, look, but no, but I'm sorry. Like, if I'm gonna actually go outside, which I don't do in the wintertime, and wear the pelt, like, I'm gonna show that fucking thing off, man. Like, I
Oh,
want,
you
I
want
want,
like a cape.
I want those cuffs. I'm gonna look good in my cuffs, and
Mm,
maybe like a neck warmer. Sort of a like uh Jon Snow in Winterfell kind of thing. Yeah,
okay.
it's a capey, like a beaver shawl.
See,
Um,
maybe if the beaver pelt turns out nice, you can like I'll hook you up with Jimbo and you can like buy a fox and just like wear it.
yes, yeah, okay. See, I would do that. I would do that just as a fashion thing, I guess. And
No,
but
that's cool.
yeah, and in that circumstance, like I was saying, like I don't know that having it like machine sewn or even hand sewn by a good sewer or whatever really helps the look, because we're talking about an animal pelt, right? And I want my like I'm making a statement about how I have taken this out of the forest with me,
Mm.
you know?
So you need just a whole raccoon turned inside out on your arms like the Abenaki that we
Yeah,
no, that wasn't the Abenaki, that was the Wampanoag.
correct. Yes.
But
Yes.
maybe the Abenaki did that too because
I don't see why they wouldn't have.
it was one of the warmest things I've ever felt aside from camel hair tights. I tried one of
Mm.
them on at
We saw this at Plymouth Plantation,
Plymouth
for
Plantation.
the
They
record.
had a whole raccoon just like ends cut off, fur turned inside out, and it was like a winter sleeve garment that I sampled.
Yeah. Yep. So beaver pelt. camel hair tights. These
I'm
are
gonna be warm.
opportunities to spice up your winter, I suppose.
But the sad thing about the camel hair tights is that I was gonna get the link so we could put it in the show notes. Like, a lot of women that I've talked to over the years are like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great. Send me your camel hair tights link." And I let people feel my cozy legs, and I buy them from eBay. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do a lot of eBaying, only for my weird winter animal pelts, apparently. But I buy them from like this Russian shop on eBay, and like they were out of stock for years. And I found them again, and I bought like a bunch more pairs, and now I can't freaking find the shop again. Like they're like nomadic camel hair traders, and they'll be back again in a few more years.
Yep.
At which time I will hopefully remember to put the link somewhere for someone.
Absolutely. And when you said link just now, I just want to share that for a second there, I thought you were saying, because you said I almost got the link, and I thought you were saying I almost got the links, and I was going to say, whoa, 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 links
Oh,
links is endangered, man. You shouldn't be. You should. I mean, I'm sure that's luxurious. I'm sure a lynx pelt is very, very warm. I'm pretty sure that if you encounter a lynx, you definitely shouldn't kill it and take it. Could be wrong. Even me, even I kind of can sometimes have a laissez-faire approach to this, but let's not put the links around our necks.
no.
Um, we've almost gotten into this several times on this program, and I don't know if we've so much resisted so far, so much as it just other things have come up that have distracted us or gotten in the way. But the idea of these kind of flashy animal fur type things um, really just reminds me of how poorly everybody looks in the winter. It's one of the reasons that I hate it. I don't like the cold. I don't like being in the cold. My Mediterranean skin does very poorly in the dry. I need humidity. Like I need, yeah, moisture in the air and warmth and not artificial heat coming from radiators, and like it just makes me miserable. But on top of it all, everybody looks like shit. No offense, guys, but if you need to take offense to this to change your ways, then take offense because you don't look good. And a lot of it, there's two factors at play here. One, and we'll set this aside. We'll come back to this one in a minute, but one is the general New Hampshire reluctance to look good. It is a it is a generalized phenomenon as well. But number two, and this is the killer, and this is especially the killer among say people that we know, among say and again I'm gonna get into trouble for saying ageist things again, um, but and they are very much along the same lines as the ageist things I said in the last episode, but people who are still our age, who are still at least potentially attractive, uh, there's still hope for some of us, and it's not too late. Like we should not have given up yet. It's we have time, and there's this myth that and you hear it in different ways, right? You hear things like there's no such thing as bad weather, there's only the wrong clothes. um, Almost every word of that sentence is false. I am so offended by that statement. So like deep in the core of my being, I am offended by the idea that there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothes. Like only if you hate humanity is that a true statement. Like only if you absolutely loathe yourself deeply is that true. But people here really they do love humility, so it does fit. But sometimes you also hear it just sort of phrased as, um, dress for comfort, especially in the wintertime. Dress to be warm. Well, that's wrong. It turns out that's incorrect. Now, if you're going up Pitcher Mountain with a bunch of kids, pioneering your path through the snow, you should probably dress warm. And someone actually on Facebook yesterday or the day before got me to admit that it's okay to wear a puffer jacket if you're hiking in the woods. It's okay.
They pack down really small. I mean, it makes sense for backpacking. Full confession, I wear ski bibs when I'm hiking in the woods. The only time you'll catch me in an overall like garment. But
Oh, is that what's a ski bib?
that's like the ski overalls. They're like
Like
insulated pants that
like snow
are
pants?
snow pants, but with the overalls.
Oh
They're not
yeah.
just the
Okay.
pants. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just call those snow pants.
Okay.
That's acceptable if it's not acceptable on the street, it's acceptable in the forest or on the sledding hill or the skiing hill or whatever. But yeah, guys, when you kind of go out and about in society, dress to look good. Don't dress for comfort. You're probably going to go from your warm car into like a warm shop or someplace, or a warm house, or a warm seat of government or something. It's going to be warm in the places that you go in, so you don't need your down puffer. Guys, puffer jackets are ugly. They're like the ugliest coat ever invented. My God, like I can just feel the weight of everyone from the past and everyone from the future looking through time at us, being like, God, why are they wearing that? Don't wear those. Wear a nice coat with buttons. Be a grown up, like an adult, not you're not a child anymore. You don't need to wear these things with freaking ribs on them. They look terrible, especially if you're young and you still have a chance to be good looking. Don't waste it. The other thing is, if you have like a North Face, well, actually, if you have a North Face anything, throw it away. Throw it the fuck away. I don't ever want to see that logo again. It's terrible. You look bad in it. It doesn't look cool. Your sweatshirt looks awful. If you have but the worst is the fleece pullover with the zipper thing. That's pajamas, as far as I'm concerned. That's literally pajamas. You shouldn't go get the mail in that, as far as I'm concerned. It's terrible. Like if you're cotton or wool, okay, that's actually okay. Like I'm not saying this about pullovers in general. Fleece pullovers, though,
Fleece is pretty bad.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty awful.
Well, didn't I tell you once that like Thomas Jefferson himself was like so appalled at the fashion sense of early Americans that he was like, you need to raise some merino sheep so you can make better coats.
You did tell me that, and I love him all the more for it.
Yeah.
What a great thought that he had.
I've got 2 layers of merino on right now, just carrying on the Jeffersonian legacy.
I mean, I like them. I've become a bit of a convert to the merino, begrudgingly over time. I've got that wool shirt that you hooked me up on. She's got other dealers too. She's got like a Norwegian or Latvian,
Lithuania. Lithuania.
Lithuanian wool garment dealer that
I do.
that um she mails them like a box of euros, and they send back the stuff, the goods, and it like slips through customs somehow. And I'm,
Hmm.
I'm making I'm making most of that up, but the shirt is
Yeah,
real, and
it did not
Lithuania
slip
is
through
real.
customs this time.
Yeah,
But
wasn't there a delay?
we're
Wasn't it?
not going to talk about that.
Yeah, right.
Ongoing
Um,
situation.
yeah, okay. Wait, you have like a missing order right now?
No, no, I just like I owe some customs money. I didn't pay enough.
Oh, really? Who do you
Yeah.
pay?
Well, like apparently I just ordered too much and so I owe the US government.
I see. Yeah, yeah.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, it's probably not as bad as owing the IRS, is it?
I don't know. Well, I don't want to find out. I just need to take care of it. So,
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Uh, well, let me know if we need to start a GoFundMe. Uh, Save Zoe from the government.
But see, that's the thing is like I feel like there's a possibility by like hiding beaver fur in my nice looking clothes and like wearing secret warm tights that I
Agreed.
can be comfortable and look good. I hope I'm striking that balance. I
I
think I
think
am.
you're. I think that you are a model for good winter fashion behavior.
Thank you.
I really do. You're heading in the right direction there. But yeah, I've got that wool. I have a bunch of wool socks now, and I have been wearing almost exclusive. Like it's to the point where I am wearing like exclusively wool socks like half the year, um, which
I've gone to full year wool. I hike in wool shirts in the summer and I wear like thinner, shorter wool socks in the summer if I wear socks because it's just a miracle fiber.
I do wear the wool socks in the summer. I didn't own the wool shirt in the summertime in the past. It's new, so we'll give it. I did wear it in the fall. We'll give it a try. I will say I'm still a tiny bit skeptical about the summer, but like I was wearing it the other day and I got really hot at one point, and
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like that.
Well, see,
Um,
I've got like a tank top, so I
oh
can
yeah,
hike in
yeah.
shorter sleeves, but then you're not just like grungy feeling, or I'm
Oh
not.
no, I could see that. I thought you were saying to wear the same one, like the same
Oh,
garment, the
yeah, I
same,
don't do the
because this
long
has
sleeve.
long sleeves,
Yeah.
Um, so I am gonna try that though. I am gonna try that, but I don't wear wool socks in the summertime if I'm not hiking though. I just wear like cotton ankle socks if I'm wearing socks at all, and I'm not wearing like flip flops. Uh, but I guess it depends. I guess it depends. But wool is good. Wool can be your friend.
Wool
Like
and fur. Get a little fox.
yes,
Get a
wool
fox
and
instead of
fur.
a
Let's
puffer coat.
let's let's slowly move things in the right direction. Get a coat with buttons. You'll feel better in it. You will feel good. That's the thing. You might not feel as warm. You will feel better as a person though. Man, you will your chin will be up as you walk down the sidewalk and into the post office and put your mask on. You will feel so proud. I swear to
You
God.
mean as opposed to like a zipper, or like a
Yeah.
as opposed to a pullover? Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I do. I mean, I kind of mean as opposed to like I think, and that's not to say that. And I guess it's true of men. If a man is going to be wearing a nice looking winter coat, it has buttons. It has buttons.
mm,
You can wear an okay looking coat with a zipper if you're a guy, but a good looking coat, and I'm not even talking about a spring and fall jacket. Plenty of spring and fall jackets you can wear with a zipper. It's actually fine. Winter coats with zippers for men are usually for warmth and not for looks.
gotcha.
Women, I don't necessarily think that's the case. Actually, I see and have seen decent looking long women's coats that have zippers. That said, though, a a slim like pea coat style uh, coat with buttons looks very good for women as well.
Yeah.
You
Mine
can't
mine
really
has
go
a
wrong with that
zipper
style.
and toggles, which I like.
The toggles.
Yeah, they're like the buttons. They're kind of like long buttons that kind of go through a loop
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
instead of a
Okay.
buttonhole. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they've never given me that option.
I think you can get toggle coats for men. I like it
I'll,
because
I'll look
I didn't want
around.
like the double breasted pea coat. I wanted like a single
Hmm.
line
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
buttons,
No, I mean, I hear that. That's a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I would elevate the double-breasted in any way. But so we're here to help you guys. We're here to promote culture, and part of culture is how we dress. And it's okay to dress like you're going in the woods or you're going to do some sort of manual labor when you're going in the woods or going to do some sort of manual labor. But grown-ups should have other clothes for town, for being in town. And especially these days when so much is so hard, and we, in some ways and sometimes it feels like we have so little to do, especially say so little to get dressed up for.
Mm.
But I'm telling you, it makes you feel better, and it makes everybody looking at you feel better when you look good. It's just it's a little way that you can make the world, like, be the change you wish to see in the world. That's when I hear that, I think I'm gonna put on a fucking great coat today.
So that reminds me of something. Not a lot of controversy on the Peterborough Facebook page this week, but I do feel like one of the more exciting posts that I saw on Facebook, and admittedly, I had a fairly light Facebook long weekend there, but
Good for you.
you um, caused a bit of a stir with your stance on high rise jeans.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Um, well, it wasn't much of a stir. I would say 90% of the respondents were like hard agreement with me.
Okay.
It was. I'm still getting like fan messages about it. Um,
Really? See, I must have looked early in the post because I saw like a couple people being like, "No, what you're crazy."
no, no,
But
no.
it
So it was like,
the
yeah,
tide
but
turned.
even those people chimed in like after it got like 15 likes and loves. You know what I mean? Like
Okay. Okay.
there was an immediate like recognition and agreement of this sentiment, followed by a couple of protests. But the vast majority of the responses that I received from both men and women was yes, get rid of the high rise jeans, go back to the low rise jeans.
So
As
so what I want to know, what counts as a high rise jean and what counts as a low rise jean?
does it go over your belly button?
Like it's over the belly button that is the high rise.
Yes.
And then what counts as low rise?
Well, that's up that's up for debate. So, and it's particularly up for debate now because the reason that this is a subject is because people are starting to report that high rise jeans are indeed coming back, which like I knew they would. God, I can't like when I was a kid in the 90s and the high rise jeans went away, and I looked at all the fashion trends of the 20th century. High rise jeans from the 80s was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. It's the worst article of clothing made in the 20th century, unless you're going back to the days when like all pants were high waisted, right?
Uh-huh.
And like I remember when I was a kid, if you talk to like somebody who was like in their 70s in the 90s, they would be like, ah, your waist is up here. And like I'm not even shitting you. Like they defined waist in a different place on your body than
Right.
we define it now. I
Right.
swear to God. And so that was bad too, obviously. That didn't look good on men either. Um, but
Yeah, I definitely think of, a grandfather, the
yes,
jeans all the way
like
up.
all the way up. And oftentimes with those types of grandfathers too, you're talking slacks and not actual jeans, you know.
Oh, yes,
You're
good point. Good point.
you're talking dress pants basically,
Yes.
that are going up basically to their pecs, like the
Yes.
um which is real weird, but I don't know, like yeah, so like the high rise jeans thing, it's like you have a fly that unzips across your abdomen. You know that it's in the everything's in the wrong place. Like it doesn't none of it makes sense, and I know that there's people who think it makes them look better, but I bet you those people don't look as bad in and oh yeah, and so anyways, so I didn't finish that thought though. When it comes to the low rise jeans, they're coming back into style, and part of what some famous celebrities are doing is like they're like ultra low cut jeans. Um, like you have to do a special like a shave in order to wear them. You know, like they're wearing like midriff bearing shirts and pants that go down like real low, like well below. Like they're not really even what I would consider low waisted because they go well below the waist. They're
Uh-huh.
sub waisted jeans. And that's not what I'm after. That's not what I'm encouraging here. You know,
Yeah.
maybe there's famous people who can get away with that. Cool. I'm sure that's cool, whatever. But I'm talking about like the normal jeans that that everybody wore when we were in high school in the 90s.
See, the reason I'm asking, like, I got sent home from my job when I was 16 because my pants were too low waisted.
How low waisted were they?
They were like 90s low waisted. I
Yeah.
think my boss was just a jerk.
Yeah, probably.
You
Yeah.
know, they like it baffled me at the time. They looked normal to me, you know.
And I'm even willing to concede you can go like maybe like an inch or two higher than the 90s even and have it look okay. I'm not even a purist here. I'm not even really strict on this subject. They just shouldn't be way up here.
They
They
just
they
should they, like no touching the belly button in your opinion?
a solid inch or two below the belly button is where they
Okay.
should land. I mean, that's where my pants go. And I'm not like showing off my ass crack to my knowledge. Like I don't think I'm being immodest or something. And for the people who are like, well, they're only for like super skinny people, like, well, I'm not actually that super skinny in my approaching middle age. So I still don't feel the need to cover my little gut with my pants, because that doesn't help. I don't, that why would that help me? I would just look weird, right? And then I would have a giant fly that I could expose my belly button through, and that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. That doesn't. That's just
Yeah.
it doesn't look good. It doesn't. It's not fun. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad.
It's funny.
And yeah.
I mean,
So
yeah. I have different genes that hit me in different places, and I don't know if I'm gonna follow the Christy Loretto rules of jeans.
I don't know if I've ever seen you in anything obscenely high waisted though.
One of my favorite pairs hits my belly button. That's as high as I would go, though. I wouldn't do like, but it's like it's solidly like 3 inches below my ribs. Like I still have like
Hmm.
waist. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mostly I like those because they're flares, and it's really hard to find flares that are not cropped flares, that is my least favorite fashion trend that has ever existed.
What's a cropped flare?
So imagine like a capri pant,
Mm-hmm.
but then put a flare leg on it.
Oh, that's terrible. I didn't know that
That's a
existed.
Oh my god,
I
that
didn't
is
know that was
a
real.
big thing, and it is so hideous to me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No. So when I found regular flares, I was like, I'm buying these. I
That's
don't
not a
care if
good.
they're high-waisted.
That is not a good choice either. And look, jeans are not quite as cut and dried as jackets. Like puffer jackets are ugly on everybody, okay? But jeans, there is and this is kind of the problem with jean trends when everyone feels like they have to, or in some cases, everyone does have to start wearing the same cuts of jeans because they
Right.
stop selling the other kinds.
Yes.
And that is what sucks. But jeans are a personal thing, and even for a guy, a lot of dudes don't know this, but like even for a guy, it does take a little bit of looking to like find the brand or the cut or fit of jeans that suits you the best. And there are some that will suit you better than others, and that's true of everybody and every body type. And I understand that, but nobody's jeans should go over their belly button. Just shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. But that is a great time. Typically we would not do this for an ad this late in the program. We have somehow in our week of no stories in our in-depth fashion discussion, we've gone 45 minutes here. But I do want to take a moment today to plug a new band. It's a new cover band, and it's fronted by our sound lord and producer, Chad Patterson, also of Studio 117, studio117.net, not.com. But it's called Down by 10. And this is Chad and a couple of other guys. This is a real basic setup. I'm gonna read from their page. This, they've got some catchy taglines, so I'm not even gonna try to invent my own here. But they're songs music you can dance to. New Hampshire-based cover band playing rock and roll from the '60s through the 2000s. Professional equipment, professional quality, and professional attitudes. It goes on. If Down by 10 were a Fortune 500 company, we might say that we've got over 80 years of music experience between us. But since we're not, all we'll say is that we've all been playing music since we were kids, and that some of us were kids less recently than others. If you are looking for big hair, big egos, and big talent, then you'll have to settle for John's epic beard, humble dudes, and big talent instead. And their goal is to give guests and patrons an awesome musical experience. So these guys they're out for hire. They're for hire for your party, for your work function, for your bar mitzvah. Um, what are some other functions that you would?
Birthday? Did you say birthday?
I mean, I said party generally, but definitely for a
Okay.
birthday. Absolutely for a birthday. Your barbecue, your tiki party,
Your
anything.
Candlemas bonfire.
Your Candlemas bonfire. Exactly. All of these things down by 10. We've got Julio Mambro on bass, John McIsaac on drums, Matt Katimi on guitar, and of course on lead vocals and guitar, our good buddy Chad Patterson. So they're out there. They're looking to get gigs. They're getting gigs already. They're playing at Sweet Sadie's benefit concert in Lynn, Massachusetts on Saturday, February 19th, if you'd like to catch a preview. But we're going to go ahead and link to their Facebook page in the show notes. We encourage you to check them out, look them out. Affordable rates. They're looking to help you party and to have a good time. It doesn't say anything on here specifically about like yacht rock, but I bet you they can do yacht rock. So if that's kind of your thing, if you want to really plan like um, a Steely Dan, Kenny Loggins themed party, I bet you they could accommodate that. I bet you we could do boat shoes and little captain's hats and all that kind of thing, and they would be able to fit your mood. These guys are versatile. They're hungry. They're out there looking to play, and they're looking to play for you. So this episode is sponsored by Down by 10. If you would like to sponsor this program and to have your band or your service or your product or business featured with the soothing tones of my voice after a rousing discussion on camel-haired thighs and beaver pelted waists, um, reach out to us. Reach out to, in fact, Sam is your point of contact, Sam at monadnockunderground.com. He can hook you up with the ads. And we do apologize, Down by 10. Didn't realize this much of the show had gone by. Typically, your ad is going to run at the front of the program. But that being said, with this kind of listenership that we have, everybody's still listening because, as I've said before, you get to a point when you kind of just get started with one of these episodes and you start getting worried that if you turn it off, Chris might say something crazy and you're going to miss it. And nobody wants that. People know that the crazy thing could even come out in the middle of your ad. So they're not going to skip your ad. So this is a way to get yourself heard. But definitely check out Down by 10. We were going to talk about some new legal stuff that's being filed, but I think we'll save that for Thursday since we're
Sounds
almost
good.
at time here. But I do think, despite the fact that there was nothing actually interesting in the paper, there is at least one thing that Zoe was able to find with her still extant subscription that is worth commenting on, at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, I love diving into the police log for all kinds of animal hijinks and crazy grandpas. Um, I noticed the Peterborough police log was published on last Thursday. Um, and I noticed kind of a pattern. One person called the police to report that there was a car parked at the Miller State Park parking lot in the same spot that they had noticed it, 10 days before. Called the police. Turns out that there was a guy doing a radio show in his van. I If that guy listens to our show, I'd love to know who it is.
Me too.
Very
Please,
interested.
please reach out.
Yeah.
Contact info in the show notes.
Um then somebody called the police the very next day because they saw someone pick up a kid at Dunkin' Donuts, and then they didn't drive in the direction of school. So they called the cops, just,
We got
someone's
some.
going somewhere with a child that
We've got
isn't
some
school.
amateur citizens truant officers here.
I go many places with my children that are not school. Hope no one calls the police. Um,
Well, if you go to Dunkin' Donuts first, watch out. They're gonna be like, "I saw that mom heading for Jaffrey. PES is the other way."
oh my goodness. And then the very next day, these were 3 days in a row. I'm curious if it's the same person, just a little like vigilante, I mean, I guess at least they were calling the cops and not trying to like take matters into their own hands.
Sure,
Small
I,
blessings, I guess.
we're being charitable. Let's give them that, I suppose.
We'll give them that.
Yeah.
Somebody called the cops because they saw an intoxicated man leave a restaurant and get into the passenger seat of a truck.
You guys know you're allowed to do that, right? Like you can get a ride when you're drunk. In fact, there are some out there who would encourage you to get into the passenger side of the car when you're intoxicated. What was the guy supposed to do? Stay there indefinitely? Like, what do you think? They have a cot in the back for people who are too drunk to be a passenger?
Yeah, so yeah, there's not much going on, but we also don't need to like create these little mini dramas by calling the police on everyone who's not doing exactly what you imagine they ought to be doing.
Guys, like, mind your goddamn business. That was I mean, I can't fucking believe that I'm here now and I'm 37 and I have to always be like, when I was a kid, but I am that guy now. And so I tend to embrace who I am rather than fight it. And I don't know, maybe it was where I grew up, maybe it was the 90s. I'm not sure. But like, dead serious, when I was a kid, like, mind your own business was a virtue. Like, it was a thing that parents said to their children, that people said to one another. And it was an effective argument. People be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I am supposed to mind my own goddamn business." Um, so as a transplant, an admitted transplant to this region, like most people, let's be honest, I don't know if this is a New Hampshire thing, if this is a Monadnock Region thing. It's not. Somebody's going to respond and say that it's a small town thing. I grew up in a small town where we talked all the time about the importance of minding your own goddamn business. This was a serious thing. Like, minding your own business was more important than saving someone or from your imagined travails.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing. Like, there's no indication that this child was like screaming and refusing to get in the car, and someone tossed them into the trunk. The guy, like, no one was doing anything. It's like someone made up a story.
yeah,
So in all three of these cases, so like, there's people who work at Miller State Park. If a car had been parked there for 10 days,
there
they
are
would have
professionals.
noticed. Like,
There are professionals to handle the parking situation at Miller State Park. Yeah, I mean, I know everybody says, like, see something, say something, but let me just offer up a little piece of good advice to wrap things up in this program, which is that sometimes, a lot of the time, probably like somewhere around 99% of the time, when you see something, you should walk away. that's our program for this incredibly boring week in the middle of January. I hope nonetheless that we entertained and cajoled you along in our typical spirit here in the Space Lounge. We will be back next week with an episode that we are going to record in just 2 days with our good friend Sam back in the hosting studio / Space Lounge. We also are in talks to hopefully have some guests coming on, probably some that I shouldn't mention just yet, but we are actually hoping to talk to somebody. This is a little bit further along in the discussion from PrEP, which is not the AIDS cocktail. It is the Peterborough organization that is aiming to make a reality the ballot proposition that we voted on last year or the year before to make Peterborough fully carbon neutral or fossil fuel free by 2030 or something like that.
Yeah,
I believe that's part of why we'll get somebody from this organization on so that we can talk through some of these details and really understand what they're going. But they actually reached out to us, and I think that would be a phenomenal conversation for us and for you, the listeners. So cool, exciting things to come.
cool. And in the meantime, like if you have a great winter outfit you feel would meet our standards, hashtag GOMO fashion. Post that on Facebook.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And if you're feeling bashful, just send it to us in a direct message. We'll figure out what to do with it. All right. Uh, that's our show this week. Thank you all for joining us here in the Space Lounge. Until we meet one more time, remember, take good advice. Hopefully mine, but in general, take good advice. Thank you all.